I examined the dirty cell around me. It was the second time in a row that I'd woken from a forced, drug-induced slumber to find myself somewhere new. Seeing in the dim lighting was difficult, but there was just enough illumination for my advanced senses to make out my immediate surroundings. The dirt along the cell's back wall had started forming clumps of mud where small cracks had developed over time, allowing moisture to seep through. The area around the hole in the floor that served as a toilet was probably the cleanest portion of the cell, likely due to the efforts of my predecessors. I shivered at the thought of such a thing. Thankfully, blocks of wood covered the holes in each cell, sparing everyone the associated smells. I had no idea how long I'd been unconscious, but I doubted my captors would leave me alone for long. I racked my mind for a solution to my predicament. My party and I had been captured, my wards and alarms somehow failing as we slept for a few scant hours. Someone had been on watch, but they'd also been neutralized. Somehow. There were too many unknowns. At least I knew who our captors were. Harbinger cultists. They were the worst of the worst, according to the Adventurers Guild. While it was easy to recognize the markings on their robes, knowing who had captured my party wouldn't help us escape. A quick glance around the prison showed lightly glowing runes related to communication and space spread throughout the area. While I didn't recognize all of them, I understood the gist of what the enchantments were likely meant to do: block communication, teleportation, and other avenues of potential escape. Undeterred by the markings, since even a failed attempt would provide valuable information, I tried to teleport away, not bothering with the spell form but going straight to direct casting, using my affinity to guide me like I'd learned to do the only other time I'd ever been imprisoned. Before the effect could manifest, my focus was broken by a searing pain in my neck. I reached up, feeling the cold metal collar around my neck. "Fuck!" I exclaimed quietly. Active mana suppression collars were a much bigger issue than some old enchantments. Shifting into a lotus position, I pulled my consciousness within and attempted to gauge how much the collar impacted my mana. It was not good. I could still access my secret storage space, the one I'd anchored to a small piece of purified bone I'd implanted several years earlier after having all my equipment stolen by people who should have been allies.